Hello and welcome to Islamic Finance Weekly. I am Rahma Sayyid Muhammad, and on today's episode, we'll be discussing on Takaful, which is Islamic insurance. And with me on the show today is Mr. Ibrahim Usman Shehu, the Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of Jais Takaful Insurance Limited. Hello, Mr. Ibrahim. Welcome on the show with us. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Good afternoon, and viewers.
All right. Thank you for being with us today. Okay, let's dive right into it. And our topic for today, which is Takaful. Takaful Islamic insurance. Please, let's give us an overview of what Takaful means.
Takaful is an Arabic word. It means mutual guarantee. People, in other words, it means people coming together to mutually support each other in the event in which a misfortune befalls any of the members. So if you can understand Takaful best if you know how insurance works. Insurance, it's a collection of people coming together. It's a contract. It's defined as a contract of indemnity, whereby the insurer, agrees to indemnify the insured in the event of a claim based on consideration. So that is a concept that works on the principle of large number. Now, the Takaful differs, significantly from insurance because the principles are different, because it derives its origin from the Islamic principle of doing business. So Sharia, Takaful is a Sharia-compliant, service that is provided to people, that comes together to say, look, we all have risk associated with our business, but let's have a system where we can mitigate that risk or even pay compensation to people that, suffer some loss as a result of carrying on their business. So Takaful, just as I said, is a mutual guarantee business, people coming together to say, look, we want to support each other in the event that misfortune befalls any of us. It derives its source from the Islamic principle of kafala, meaning people to support each other in an effort to ensure that there is fairness, support, and tranquility in the society. And it has its origin again from both the Quran and Sunnah. In the Quran, it is stated that the Almighty Allah stated in the Quran that we should come to support each other in piety and doing good, but we should not support each other in transgression and committing sin. So that is the source from which Takaful is driven. And from the time of the Prophet, there were merchants in the Arab world at that time who were traveling from one nation to the other doing business. Each time they want to go to embark on such kind of business, they contribute a certain sum and keep it in a treasury. And after their adventure, whoever suffers any loss from that business trip, they'll take from the fund and settle the person so that he can return to the financial position in which he was prior to their trip. So that is the concept of Takaful, and that's where it got its origin from. And now in the modern times, because insurance had come in the conventional way, Muslims especially felt that, and especially scholars felt that conventional insurance run contrary to certain principles of Islam. And so therefore, those areas that were seen to be in contravention, were not actually found to have been Sharia compliant, were actually removed from the conventional insurance. And then everything now becomes Takaful. The major elements that distinguish Takaful from conventional are as follows. Let me mention. One of the things that is found to be non-Sharia compliant in conventional insurance is the issue of uncertainty. Okay. And the second one is the issue of gambling. The third one is the issue of interest. These are the three major elements that are found in conventional insurance, which was seen to have been or to be non-Sharia compliant. So by the time you remove these three elements, everything about conventional insurance can be adopted to become Takaful. Okay. In other words, the areas in the conventional space that is found to have been, contrary to Sharia principles were the major areas that were cleared off or that were removed from the conventional insurance. And every of that practice is adopted to become Takaful. So this is a business that is in conformity with Sharia and operates on the principles of Sharia jurisprudence.
So, right, moving on, let's get what the types of Takaful are. I mean, there has to be different packages that people can subscribe to. What package or what are the packages that Takaful entail?
There are many companies. In fact, practically in Nigeria, most of the operators use the hybrid model. You take your Wakala fees from the participant risk fund upfront, and after that, you invest the risk fund, and whatever return you got from the risk fund is further shared in the agreed proportion in the operator and the participant risk fund. So we use the investment to grow the risk fund so that the money is not just kept idle. It's continuously being invested and it continues to grow. This is important because when you are doing business, the risk you are taking is more than the contribution that you had received. So you must be prepared to pay higher than what the participant had paid. So in an effort to ensure that the funds grows, you don't keep the money idle, you must find a way to do legitimate business that the funds will continue to grow and the customer eventually benefits. So these are the major, in fact, in particular, the hybrid model is the most common type of model across the globe. And in Nigeria today, I think all the Takaful operators use the hybrid model because it's a more suitable model for the business. And it's really helping us to grow the risk fund and grow the operations. Further to that, to answer your question more, there are, just as you know about composite insurance in conventional, the Takaful operators to operate composite. In other words, Takaful operators in Nigeria have the license from the National Insurance Commission to offer and provide life insurance, which is called family Takaful insurance in Takaful, and general Takaful insurance, which is called general business in conventional. So all of us that are licensed to operate in Nigeria have the license to operate a composite operator as a operator or a Takaful operation company, meaning a company that provides Takaful services to Nigerians for both general, which includes motor fire, burglary, and the rest, and family, which includes equally, group life, individual life, and the rest. So it's a composite business that we're doing, and the product affects or is offered to all Nigerians that are interested in having ethical insurance services. So those are the type of business that we're doing.
Having looked at the types or products offerings of Takaful, let's look at the benefits. What do this, packages, or how is Takaful in general beneficial to the people?
The benefits of Takaful is enormous. First, a part of the services offered by Takaful is to ensure that whoever has a Takaful policy and whenever a certain event that led to a loss happened, the Takaful company will pay. Now, payment of claims in Takaful is very, very efficient and effective because the risk fund has the participants' money. So if there is any claim, we don't delay to settle because the risk fund does not belong to us. It is the participants' money we are keeping, in custody on their behalf, in our custody in their behalf. So whenever there is claim, we always pay promptly. And secondly, if there is no claim and the year ends and we run the financials and we have underwriting surplus, that surplus will be distributed back to customers that have not had claim in the proportion that they had contributed, they have made contribution at the beginning. In other words, if a customer pays 1 million naira and Wakala fees is taken, and then the balance is put into a risk fund, and at the end of the year, we aggregate the total of claims that we paid from the risk fund and carry out the actual valuation of the risk fund. Whatever that is recommended to be paid will be paid back to that person that has contributed that 1 million net of all expenses incurred. So it is a business that is fair it is a business that is a win-win for the customer. There is no way you can do Takaful and you go home empty-handed. You either have the benefit of claim paid to you promptly, or you benefit from the surplus that will be declared by the Takaful company at the end of the financial year. Secondly, those of us that operate Takaful are professionals. We know the problem that is associated with dealing with insurance in general. We tried to make sure that whatever complaints we hear are addressed professionally. And because we operate the Islamic principle, in Islam, it is a business of fairness. It is the business that does not tolerate cutting corners. We are straight to the customer, transparent. Just as you know, one of the principles of insurance is utmost good faith. You have to be faithful and honest to the customer. And we are upholding that principle very well in Takaful. And it's another way of ensuring financial inclusion. People hitherto that felt that they were excluded from conventional insurance now have the opportunity to do insurance in the way that conforms to their belief. But above all, we're emphasizing to everyone that Takaful is for everybody. There is no bias in Takaful. It is for everyone, regardless of his religion, creed, or race. Your tribe does not matter. Your religion does not matter. Your race does not matter. If you want to have business of Takaful that gives you value, come to Takaful companies. That is what Takaful companies are there to offer. And Nigerians are benefiting from it. And in Nigeria, and for the last 7 years, we've been operating Takaful, and Nigerians have testimonies to confirm that Takaful has actually lived up to its promises.
Thank you so much. I mean, it sounds really interesting. I would really want to, subscribe to this form of insurance. Well, haven't talked about how, Takaful is beneficial to the public. Let's weigh and balance. What are the differences between Takaful and the conventional insurance, and what are the similarities? I mean, do they have like a balanced line where they meet, and the hinge where there are differences? Let's have that.
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, just as you know, in conventional insurance, it's a risk transfer mechanism. Conventional insurance is a risk transfer mechanism, while Takaful is a risk sharing model. In other words, one of the major differences between conventional insurance and Takaful is that in conventional insurance, the risk is transferred to the insurer. And so the insurer is obliged to indemnify the insured in the event of any loss happening to him. Now, but in the case of Takaful, it is risk shared by participants among themselves. So that way, if any participant has any claim, the participant any participant that is contributing or that's participating in that has actually done what we call paid or donated to support the other. It is in other words called tabaru. Tabaru means donating to support the other in case anything happens to him. So the contract is that of donation. You are donated. So you are expecting that your donation to support your fellow brother who is participating in the Takaful space. Second difference is that there is uncertainty in conventional insurance. But in the Takaful market, it is certain because people are saying that if anything happens, the Takaful model has actually emitted uncertainty. And so therefore, I have donated my money. I'm not into gambling with this money. If anything happens, I have agreed that my money should be taken to help fix the loss of the other. But if nothing happens, the money still belongs to all of us. So there is no uncertainty there. Another major difference is the interest. The conventional insurance space, insurance companies does or practice their business and invest their monies in interest-driven windows of investment. In Takaful, we are not allowed to invest our money or the participant money in anything interest, because interest is prohibited in Islam. So we don't deal with interest, but we rather deal with profits. We do business and generate profits, and we share the profit with the customer. So these are some of the major distinctions. But I think the common similarities I will mention is that both of them paid claims. If there is any claim, conventional insurance company will pay you. If there is claim, Takaful company will pay you. But another major difference between conventional and Takaful is that conventional insurance will never pay you surplus. The agreement they have with you is that they have an evidence of insurance contract given to you. And so if anything happened, which is a peril that is covered under the contract, the insurance company will pay you. But if nothing happens and the year ends, your money goes to the shareholders of that insurance company. But in Takaful, we have evidence that we entered into Takaful contract with you. If something happens, we will pay from the participant response and settle your claim. But if nothing happens at the end of the financial year and our accounts are prepared and we made underwriting profits, that underwriting profit, otherwise cost surplus, will be shared to the customers that have not had claim in the course of that financial year in the proportion in which they made their contribution at the beginning. So there is this fundamental difference is very, very important. Surplus is one of the major distinctions between Takaful and conventional insurance. And I think I need the public to know this, because in our own kind of model, if you do insurance with us, you can never lose completely. It's a win-win business. In both Takaful and conventional, you have to pay a consideration. In conventional, it is called premium. In Takaful, it is called contribution.
Right.
Both parties, or in conventional and in Takaful, there must be the customer. In conventional, it is the customer is called insured. In Takaful, the customer is called participant.
Right.
And in both sides, there must be the company. The company in conventional is called the insurance company or the insurer. Right. In Takaful, the Takaful company is called the operator. You understand?
Interesting. Yes, yes, yeah.
So these are some of the things that I think the public should understand. And then in terms of doing business, we do business on the principle of utmost good faith. All of us, the conventional insurance as well as the Takaful companies.
Yeah, right.
So these are again common similarities.
Okay, let's look at how Takaful is helping, or is playing a key role in bolstering the financial landscape in Nigeria, especially at this critical stage where there is low financial inclusion in subnationals here. So how do you think, or how really is Takaful playing a role in battering this problem?
Thank you very much. I think one of the points I mentioned was that in the past, especially the Muslim population in Nigeria, which constitutes over 50%, were very, very apprehensive. They are not too sure whether they should even go into doing insurance with the conventional. And there are sections of the Muslim that already completely believes that the conventional insurance is prohibited in the Islamic balance. So to ensure those people come into the financial space, Takaful has now offered that value proposition to them. In other words, the Takaful companies have comparative advantage of ensuring that the Muslim population or anybody that feels he wants to have a fair business in having to have insurance now takes insurance or takes Takaful to be able to give him that window of having to manage his risk by ensuring that his properties or assets are well protected, and that first it conforms with his belief. Secondly, it gives him value addition, which is very, very critical. So the coming of Takaful has actually opened a window of over 50 million Muslims in Nigeria that hitherto felt that conventional insurance was not in line with Sharia. But now with the coming of Takaful, they have an opportunity to now insure their risk or assets with the Takaful company. Right. Secondly, because we operate certain policies that are small scale in nature and sometimes micro, people that operate small businesses, micro businesses, have opportunity to have their assets protected. I can give you an example. If somebody is doing small business, he has the opportunity to protect the assets as well as the facility he collected from a financial institution by having a credit life Takaful policy that in case anything happens to that money or before he pays the money or something happens to him, the Takaful company will pay back the money on his behalf to the bank that, or to the financial institution where he collected that money. And again, perchance, if the asset that is using to make more money, do business, is destroyed by way of fire or somebody steals the asset, the Takaful company will now pay him and return the asset to him so that he can continue to do his business. So we have a lot of opportunities that we're creating for Nigerians, especially those ones at the lower level of the strata of the society, have an opportunity to do insurance in a Takaful way so that they will have the benefit of having to protect their assets and interests.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim. Thank you for being on the show with us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much as well.
A compliment of the season. Have a great year ahead.
Thank you very much. All the best.
And that will be all on Islamic Finance Weekly today. I hope you were able to jot one or two things in this show. I hope you were able to understand the concept of Takaful, what Takaful means, and the basic similarities and differences between Takaful and conventional insurance. Don't forget to keep up to date with us next week on the program. Follow us on all our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Thank you for watching. I am Rahma Sayyid Muhammad.